What is going on, everybody? We are here again with another post-credit scene. This is season 2, episode 3 of the House of Dragons that we just watched. We're going to start off like we always do with kind of everybody's like first reactions as far as what they felt about the episode, this episode in particular, and then we'll move on to a couple other things that happened during the episode. But like we'll just go downhill from here. Matt, man, what'd you think overall about the episode? Getting you ready for some stuff to come, or like what'd you overall feel about it?
Yeah, I think it was just setting up what's good to come. Probably a big battle next week or the week after. Some dudes wanted to start the war. The ladies were trying to make peace. At least one of them was. It was an okay episode.
Yeah. What did you think, Brandi?
I liked it. It's setting things up and things are being found out, and I liked it.
Yeah. Now, I do think overall this will be one of the lower graded episodes of the 3 just because there wasn't any action. You know, last week we got the two twins fighting, and then the first one you had like the whole plan of like going and get a son for a son, like the revenge plot and everything else. So I do think because there wasn't a lot of action in this episode, and I knew some people's going to be a little disappointed in the fact that we didn't actually get the burning meal battle, which is what we ended up seeing parts of. You see these two, the Brackens and the Blackwoods, getting into a little altercation here, you know, kind of just showing what the rest of the country's going through. We spent a decent amount of time in the Riverlands on this episode. But yeah, it was a setup episode for things to come. And like there's something that's not part of the actual like lore or book or whatever that's in here, and these are Alicent and Rhaenyra actually getting together at the very end of this episode, which I thought that part was actually well done and stuff. But yeah, like I said, I think a lot of people may overall not like love this episode, but only because of the simple fact that like there wasn't a lot of action. It was set up. But I'm going to tell you, all the Game of Thrones fans out there that might try to complain about this episode, if they do, I don't know if they will or not, but if they do, I want them to remember the reasons why they didn't like season 7 and 8 of the original Game of Thrones is because things were moving too fast. That was the biggest complaint, was everything just went too fast. And this show is actually taking its time. Like the brother that shows up to join Christian Cole tells him, I've been riding for 3 months. Like, and I come back to see that my Otto is out. He already kicked his butt out of being the hand and everything else. Mm-hmm. So like they're letting it be known it takes some time to travel. Like Christian Cole's like, I'm going to get an army together and we're going to go take Harrenhal, and he didn't just show up there, right? We got to see him on his way there, but he's not there yet. So it's actually taking some time to get there. And I do want to preface it with that. Well, that being said, we had I got it up here right now, Brackens. These two guys meet each other, and then we go to what was a bloody battle. And it was so cool. Yeah. Like as we're watching the episode, every little frame, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And you just see these bodies just littered all over the place. You see the mill right there or whatever, like burning. That's probably where it got its name from. But you got bodies in the water, bodies on the land, and everything else. And like I said, I think this will be kind of a disappointment for some because they didn't get to see none of this fighting. Did y'all feel disappointed in that when y'all saw that, or was y'all cool with it?
I was cool with it. I was like, oh, well, they went the cheap route. They didn't want to show the battle. They just showed the aftermath. But it was cool to at least get this glimpse of what happened.
Yeah, kind of giving you a glimpse of what happens with battle, like bloody and stuff. But yeah, what did you think, Brandi?
I mean, I was confused at first. I'm like, what? And then I'm like, oh, they fought. I would have liked to have seen some fighting. That would have been cool. But
yeah, I think a lot of people's going to fall in that route, and I don't blame them to a certain point. I'm cool with it as long as, you know, you're going to showcase like some, and obviously they are. I think the next episode may be a decently sized battle or whatnot. We'll find out when we.
But it's also because it's not like, I mean, yeah, one side was for the king and one side was for the queen, but it wasn't like directly connected to them, so that's why I guess they didn't show it.
Yeah, I can see that too, and I think the purpose in showing even this field and stuff like that is showing how bloody wars could be. We went straight from that to the funeral of the two Erics, one Eric and one Eric. man, gotta love this show with these names that sound so familiar. But we had a couple of things go down where they were talking about like, you know, even Rhaenyra was like, even the one that came after her was only following orders and following his like oath. So like, because you had her son, I think it was, brought up the fact that like it's almost like besmirch and Eric, the one that was standing with them, because of the fact that like you're burying them together. But they truly loved each other, and they both were following what they thought was the right way to follow their oath and everything else. I felt sorry for this guy that had to bury him because like nobody was helping his ass out. He's doing it on his own. But yeah, what did y'all guys think about like this scene? You know, Rhaenyra and Rhaenys, their discussion here, and even Rhaenyra with her son.
I think that this. Sorry. I was just saying. I think that this chick still has ulterior motives on getting her out of the throne.
So you think
she doesn't want her there?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, like she wants that she thinks that she should be the one.
Which would make sense to a little bit, because if you remember in the first season, at the very beginning, the first episode, she was the other one that was voted on. So she lost the vote. People voted for who we got, which I thought he was an okay king. Like he was kind of weak in certain things, but like as far as like being a good person, like he turned out to be a good person. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't like this evil king or anything. He was just kind of weak and didn't make a lot of decisions. But yeah, I could see that she still has some jealousy there, but I feel like her jealousy's gone now. I think she's actually is trying to help Rhaenyra and everything else. I don't think she's trying to like have her killed so that she can take over. I don't think so.
Do you know things, Justin?
No, it's not anything because of that. Because, like I said, like this is based on like a history book, and it's literally like 1.5, 2 pages total of everything that's went on so far. So there's not a lot to go off of. We don't know how these characters actually acted during a lot of it. We know like you can get big points, right? So like me knowing some of the lore behind this, I know what happens to Rhaenys, the older one, right? But I don't know her motivations. And that's kind of the cool thing about this, is because they're adding things that is in between all the big moments that like nobody knows where it went. So I think that's actually pretty cool as far as a person that's seen some of that stuff and everything else. But yeah, we also got Rhaenyra here. She's talking to the White Worm, the Lady of Whispers, and everything else. So kind of the fallout, because she was able to warn the queen that the other twin was there and everything else. Pretty cool shot right there about the dragon in the background. But yeah, like anything on this, like did you think it was cool that Rhaenyra was cool with her becoming part of her court and becoming in her like whisperer?
Yeah, I think she respects her.
Yeah, I think that's a big part. I think they showed us the scenes in the last episode with them together to kind of like mesh all that, put it all together, and so they like almost like they have this kind of unspoken respect for each other. I actually agree with that. You agree with that, Matt?
Yep.
No, I got him at a bad time.
But
yeah, we got Rhaenyra here with her daughter, one of her. Well, actually, this would be Daemon's daughter. She's sending her off to Lady Arryn, which is in the Vale, which is a big important spot. If you remember from Game of Thrones, that was like almost the impenetrable castle because of where it's laid at and everything else. So they're trying to get their armies and stuff like that together. She's sending technically like a stepdaughter out with a couple of eggs, and like I think maybe like
be the protector of the eggs. There's 3 of them.
Yeah, and also she's sending her little boys that you saw that was in the previous episode, and when she was playing with them for a little bit, they're getting sent there as well. So like she's hoping that that's enough, because Lady Arryn wanted an actual dragon. So what she's hoping is, I'm going to send you some eggs. I think maybe a little hatchling baby dragon kind of thing, and her sons to like make up for not giving her like a powerful dragon or whatnot. Then we go right here to Harrenhal. Got the dragon right here, Prince Daemon's dragon, Caraxes and stuff like that. They show up. And actually, I think I may have said the wrong name. I think it's Cyrax. But anyway, they show up. One of the two. It's either I'm getting the names mixed up. All these names sound.
And I don't know them, so I wouldn't know if you messed up or not. So
yeah, exactly. There's just so many names that sound so familiar and so close together. That's one of the
downfalls.
It was
Caraxes or something.
Yeah, Caraxes. Yeah. I may have said that one first. I don't know. I may have said it wrong, but he's got the cool dragon with a very long neck and longer body than most of the other dragons. But it shows him showing up at Harrenhal. He's suspecting like some people wanting to like fight or whatever.
Yeah,
these people ain't wanting to fight for crap. I did like this scene because it does show this like ghostly feel to Harrenhal, which, like I was telling y'all during the episode, is Harrenhal has from the very beginning. Aegon the Conqueror comes in. This is one of the kings that was there on the Riverlands. He was like, nah, hell nah, I'm not bending the knee. And Aegon was like, well, I got a big ass dragon, and basically melted portion of the castle. That's why it's able to be reined in. It doesn't have roof in some spots or whatever. But this castle has been known to be like basically haunted and cursed. Like if you don't actually want to be ruler of this castle, but it's so important that somebody always wants it, but it doesn't seem like anything good happens to anybody who's in charge of this. Think about this, like Tywin from the first Game of Thrones was actually had a stronghold here for a little while, the Lannister, and then he ended up getting shot by his dwarf Tyrion on the toilet, like after he had been here.
That's the toilet one.
Yeah, so but you got him kind of going through there. I just think so many things in this show look so cool. He sits down. He won't eat because he thinks he's going to possibly get poisoned. But like they just kneel down right when he walks in the door, man. They're not even trying to fight him off.
Yeah.
Some of the reason is because this guy is a strong. He's from that family. And from the first season, they started a fire over here. It killed a couple of the bigger strongs. Actually, one of the strongs that died, Rhaenyra's son with the brown hair, that's actually his father. He came here and got caught in that fire and died. So that's why he's not around no more. So that's actually, the brown hair son that was standing next to Rhaenyra, that's actually his dad that got killed in season 1. And this guy kind of knows that Larys set it up. He's like, yeah, so I'm not cool with that guy. Screw that guy. I'm bending the knee. I don't care what Larys says and everything else. What did y'all think about because this is most of the stuff that we got from Prince Daemon happened right here. What did y'all think about like Daemon and his scenes right here where he basically takes over this castle Harrenhal without no fight?
It was just whatever. It was just like,
it was funny. I claim Harrenhal.
It was kind of like a funny,
like I'm like, I'm not fighting you.
You can have this, and then he even apologizes for the they were having. You know what I'm saying? Like that was funny to me too.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, this is what we got to eat, but and sorry, he's like apologizing. We should have had better food. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of cool. Yeah. Then we kind of jump into a little bit more.
You already got a haircut within this point.
Yep, Christian Cole and Alicent's here. I think this is pretty cool. Little setup for one. We meet one of Alicent's brothers coming from Old Town. He comes up. There's an interesting conversation and stuff. Like he doesn't like the fact that like Christian Cole's the hand. Because what would it be like? I think it would be his father because I think she says brother. So yeah, his father Otto Hightower got kicked out of the hand in the last episode. But even in that like beginning scene and in this scene, they had that like Alicent and Cole kind of in that room when they were talking about the battle plans. You could see there's like some strife, even though they've been sleeping together and he's been eating that pie. Like they not as happy with each other right at this second. And you kind of tell that, I think, in this scene too, like where they're not 100% there. She still gave him her like little cloth.
She don't like his haircut.
Yeah, she didn't like his haircut, boy. And then she pulled that little cloth out of her titty. She pulled it right out. Hey, she pulled it right out of the titty purse. That's what I call it. Because it was almost like she pulled out her cell phone, but it was just like this napkin. So at least they're liking each other at this time.
The brother saw it though, but her brother saw that her take it out and give it to him, and then he's like, what's this?
He's a little jealous. He's a little jealous.
He's a little suspicious of what's going on.
Oh yeah, and this was like an interesting scene between her daughter, and Alicent here, where she actually talks to her. You know, in the last episode, like she walks in and Aegon's actually crying. He's upset because like all this stuff's falling on him, and he's like, he thinks he's by himself, and he's like crying in the chair by the fire. And she kind of walks in, looks at him, sees him crying, and she leaves. And I think that's one of the problems. I mentioned it during our watch along, was like that. The reason why I think a lot of people connect to the blacks and are kind of pretty much kind of rooting for them a little bit is the simple fact that like the blacks, you know, they're part of the family, and all that good stuff. You know, like they seem close together. You know what I'm saying? They're like family. At least you can connect with them that way, even though they make some bad decisions or even do some bad things. Whereas the Greens over here, like, this is like a time I would say Alicent actually pays attention, tries to be a cool mom, tries to show some attention to her daughter here because like she lost her son and everything else. But like her two sons, for instance, like she's almost hands off. She almost doesn't want to be part of their lives. So and it's kind of like you can see this the wedge that's stuck in this family over here, where at least the other family, they show emotion to each other, give each other hugs, and try to actually at least talk about things.
Well, she doesn't think that she can have the right to grieve, but it's her child. Like, of course she's going to grieve. But she, also, again, how young is she? They're all young. So she don't know how to be. And she's like, well, all these people are grieving for my kid. I don't have no right to. And she's like, you're her mother, basically. You're the mother of this child. You have a right to grieve. Just like we all do, you know?
Yeah.
And as someone that has lost a child in their family, you all have a right to grieve.
Oh, yeah. I like it, the fact that the queen was like, you know, I know the commoners lose kids all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like she doesn't think it's supposed to be special that she lost a son. Whenever regular everyday folk lose kids every day, especially in a time like this, you know, like where food's not as like easy to get as it is here. Like even if you're poor here, sometimes you can still get food, even if it's the crappy food. But like most likely you can still get something. But in this kind of a situation, you're starving. Like that's just all it is to it. And then we got this, you know, little weasel, that little piece of shit I was talking about. Yeah, the guy who set the fire in season 1 that killed like I think that was even like maybe even his dad or something, because now that's how he became the heir of Harrenhal, but he don't have it no more. Damon's got it, but he comes in and talks to the king.
Fetish guy, isn't it? He's the
foot fetish baby. There we go. He's over here wanting to look at his feet. Like, too bad he showed up in this room after they had already put the boots on the king. You know, he's probably disappointed because of that. But we got the king over here getting suited in the king's armor, and they're all giving him compliments. One of the cool things I thought about this scene, these two actors right here are really good. You almost can say that about every scene in this series. These actors all do great jobs. They all do what they're supposed to do. But one of the cool things I thought about this particular scene that stood out for me was the King's Guard and how like in shambles they are, because some of them went with Rhaenyra, then they've lost 1 or 2 of them to death, and they're just like replacing them with these people, and they don't even take their oath seriously, because right here they're joking about like one of them has to take the oath like a new replacement or like a squire or whatever, and he hasn't been able to like feel the touch of a woman. And when you take this oath that's very serious, you're not supposed to, like, Christian Cole's not supposed to be having sex, okay? Like, period. Not just because it's bad about who he's having it with, it's because it's bad because he swore an oath to never do that. So when he did what he did with Rhaenyra at the time, and what he's doing with Alicent, like, he's been breaking his oath over and over and over again.
He should be known as the White Worm.
No, I wouldn't even call him that. The white turd. He right now to me, he's like now to me, he's that old dog turd that's been laying out there in the yard for like a few weeks, and it's done turned old white and stale. Like, get out of here, bro. But yeah, these guys right here, which is kind of crazy because, like, you know, he's supposed to be in charge of these guys with all these oaths, and he's breaking oaths left and right and everything else. So people can't wait to see what he does. I'm got to go through and do a rewatch. I'm going to do like a bigger breakdown, a comprehensive breakdown of the episode for you guys. Like I already did episode 1 and episode 2, had to do them kind of in a hurry because I wasn't feeling good over the last week, but I am going to start from this week on doing a more comprehensive breakdown of certain things. This I need to rewatch. I don't know all the stuff they were trying to convey in this scene, except for the fact that King Aegon shows up and they show him with that dude trying to get him laid and everything.
Talking about because did it go back from when the other guy was talking to him about people whispering, and then he's a whisperer, like he's going around and spreading stories and stuff like that. So I was like, does it have to do with that? Like, did that tie in with that? You know what I mean? Like someone's whispering, and who are these people that are whispering about these things? You know?
That's a good catch. That's a good catch, Brandi, because like I just didn't, because he's talking about how he was possibly like a Targaryen. Basically, he's saying he's a bastard son of one of the kings. Because back in the day, like bastards was not considered like as like full family. Now a king or like whoever it was could legitimize them and make them a true family member. But until that happens, they're considered bastards, and they don't mean that much. But they could come into play. So I was trying to figure out like what he was trying to convey here before the king came in. The king comes in, he swallows whatever he was saying. He swallowed that quick, but he was like, he made sure he was the first one that says, "Hail the king, hail the king!" Bro, he had that proverbial lump in his throat. But yeah, you have this scene basically where you have the king going around. He's trying to help this one young guy, like, you know, get laid and everything else before he takes his vow and all that kind of good stuff. And then he bumps into one of the rooms where his brother is, which we seen in the last episode. His brother goes to this lady.
Forward and found it a nice shot.
Because they is some dong. They is some dong in the episode. That was Matt's favorite part. I had to calm him down whenever we were watching. Like, Matt, shit, calm down, Matt. Calm down, Matt. Like I know there's dong in here, but we gotta like get through the episode.
No, he was trying to.
It was Brandi.
Rush through it.
He's trying to put it on Brandi. But anyway, Brandi makes a good point, and I also make a good point with this. They show the dong is equal opportunity up in the house. Like even in Game of Thrones, a lot of times they show dongs, they show men's butts, they show women's titties and butts and all that kind of stuff. So they show it all, which we can appreciate.
Full frontal of the brother, the one that lost his eye.
Yep, sure did.
Saw everything.
But I do think this scene had more than dongs. I think it had more importance.
Oh no, he was making fun of his brother, saying, "Oh, this is the first one you've ever been with, and you're still with her." Ha ha ha! Like making fun of him and stuff.
And this is what I'm talking about, like the Greens. So Allison and her kids and stuff. It's almost like they almost don't like each other. Like the only reason why they kind of stand up for each other is because like they are a family. And they only do that when they have to. But if they don't have to, if they're in a section where they don't have to worry about because they're a family or heirs or any of this, they don't give a shit, man. They're just almost like they hate each other. It's almost like they're worst enemies. And I think this was another scene that portrayed that. Because in the last episode, these two guys were talking and you were like, oh, yeah, they're getting to be more buddy-buddy, getting to maybe understand each other. But in this episode,
he was always made fun of no matter what, the younger one. They always made fun of him.
Got a little what?
Watch out.
Yeah, watch out, boss. But anyway, the what you want to call it, then we jump over here. We see the actual scenes right here from Rhaenyra and her son and everything else, and them talking like to the council. You see there's strife in Rhaenyra's council. Like the other side, and the other side's council was bad as well, like super bad. Like it was like, bro, what the hell are you doing? Like you guys, all you're doing is fighting and everything. And this side's a little bit more put together, but they still are having problems. So it's like everything around these two ladies, Queen Rhaenyra and
but they want the queen to go hide. They want Rhaenyra to go and hide, basically. Yeah,
exactly. So like we got that right there going on. So it's just showing the stripe. Then we went back to Daemon for a little bit. And he's walking around the castle. He starts to see things and everything else. And there's a lady that comes out of nowhere, which I don't know how important she's going to be. I think
she was the one that was in the beginning when he first came in. She was, if you noticed her, she was at when he came in and said, "I declare this." And the guy, she was the one that came from the door. She was over there by the door.
If you remember in the original Game of Thrones, there was that lady known as like a blood witch or whatever, the Red Queen or whatever they called her. This lady,
it's kind of reminds me of her. Yeah, that's what I kind of thought. That's what I felt from her.
Yeah, this right here, that lady does that kind of thing right there.
And he tells she tells him that he's going to die here.
Yeah, and the crazy part about it is you know, just like the Red Queen from like the Game of Thrones, she was wrong half the time. Now she was right in some cases, but there was other times where she was wrong. So we don't know how true that is.
Well, we'll find out.
But yep, we got these two right here talking again. Like I said, more setup for what's to come. And then we got into, go ahead.
So they were setting up for, because she wants how to get to Alicent. And then the White Worm knows info on how to do that. There's one place that she goes that you'll have uninterrupted. There won't be many people around, and she goes by herself, and it's at this church to pray.
Yep, we got Alicent and Rhaenyra here talking with each other for the first time in a long time, and we have a cool discussion. That is one thing that I will give the Game of Thrones, is I do not care. This to me was pretty cool. I don't know if I would have liked it as much as an action scene, but it's really close. These two getting together and having this very serious discussion, along with the dangers. Rhaenyra's putting herself in danger of possibly being killed here, right? Like if Alicent were to scream out, even though, like she said, Rhaenyra did have a dagger, that she would kill Alicent, but if she does, or even if she does, she's going to die herself.
If I'm going, you're going too.
But it's still that danger, over looming this whole conversation. Like so it makes it almost like an action scene, even though it's just these two women talking, but they're talking and they both don't want this war. You can tell they both don't want to go to the bloody ends. I thought this was pretty cool. After it was over, the first thought that came to my head was Alicent's one of those people that she thought she heard something, right? She thought something was true. And she's dedicated her life even to possibly starting this war and agreeing to usurping Rhaenyra here, because she believed what she heard and the information that she had was true.
But Rhaenyra said, I saw him that day, and he said to me that it was, so in those hours after when my father died, you're telling me he changed those few hours, and she didn't believe it.
Yeah, so, but my thing with Alicent here, well, actually, I think that she had a look on her face at the very end when Rhaenyra was telling her that's a story that my father would tell about the Song of Ice and Fire. Like that's a tale that he would tell. Yeah. So Alicent did have a look in her eyes of like almost like, oh God. But this is my point I was making, is that like she's known this. She's made some bad decisions, some horrible decisions. People has already died because of her decisions up at this point, because of something she believed 100%. And even though I think that she knows, there's a really good chance that what Rhaenyra just said changes the whole truth. She can't back away from it.
She does. She realized what it, and it said, that's what she said. She's like, it can't be stopped. You know, like they're going to fight. This is going to be a fight. Because she said, I don't tell, that's what she said. I don't tell a lie. I don't lie. This is what it was said. And then when she said that, and then Rhaenyra was like, whoa, my father said that. That's the story that he used to tell of Aegon the Conqueror. And that's, what's the name of the Fire and Ice?
This whole time, you're right. Yeah. This whole time, she's thinking it's Aegon, her son, but he's actually talking about the old tale of Aegon the Conqueror. So this is the thing. That's what I'm saying. But she's went too far down the path. Bad decisions has been made.
It's already rolling.
She won't. She will not. She cannot accept that she made a mistake. And this is a good life lesson, I think, for people all over the world, because people make their decisions based on information that they get, things they may have seen, things they may have heard, and they will jump to conclusions or make even sometimes rash decisions. But I'm here to tell you guys, it's never too late to turn back. It's never too late to admit you may have made a mistake, because if you keep going down the road, it just keeps going worse and worse and worse.
It's already in motion. It's already too late to back everybody out. You know, you can't do it because everybody has their own decisions that they're doing now, and she can't take it back.
And the problem is, I think you're right, but not because she doesn't want to take it back wholeheartedly, but she also can't take it back because all these things are in play, and there's people that's more powerful from her now.
Yes. So that's why. That's what I'm telling you. Like, you can't stop it. It's going to happen. So she said, there's nothing that she can do.
Yeah, so we'll see how, like, we'll see how the emotions of the two characters play out for the rest of the season. So it's going to be interesting to watch these two. And
there's going to be battles. We're going to get lots of battles. We're going to get the battles. They're coming.
I do think one's coming next episode. Game of Thrones does this a lot. They'll have a setup episode, and then it'll be something balls to the wall, people getting killed left and right. So like we will and shall see.
There was already balls in the wall today.
There was. Yeah, there you go. There she goes, baby. She got it. Took it down. But anybody have any last thoughts before we get out of here?
I thought it was a good episode. I like how, because you need those episodes to set things up. Set things up that make sense. That's what I like, stuff that makes sense. Whereas, some other shows we won't say don't make sense, but this one does. And you see it, and now you'll see the aftermath of the stuff after.
Yeah, to make a show make sense and logical and everything, sometimes you have to have these slower episodes to get there, to get that part of the journey that you really want to see. Like I said, the biggest criticism I think is going to come across the board on the internet is that they didn't get to see the Burning Mill battle, because that's actually a battle that is like not talked about heavily. It's just mentioned in the resource materials, but it's not really super important. It's one of those beginner battles where the Brackens and the Blackwoods just kind of kill each other, and people are starting to like form their alliances and everything. So I don't think it's important overall for the story. As long as they give us a great battle, a great little action piece coming up soon in the next episode or two, I don't care.
Matt, you got anything else to add?
No, I just can't wait to see what happens next week. We'll see.
Matt's all in, baby. He don't give a damn.
He's balls to the wall too.
Yep, that's it, baby. He's ready to go, baby. Ready to see more dong, I guess. Here we go. But with that being said, man, that's a great time to get the hell out of here today. We'll be back with another post credits after Acolyte. We're still doing those. We only got 3 episodes left there, and then we'll also be doing the House of Dragon for the rest of the season. But thank you guys. Please like and subscribe. Comment down below what you thought about the episode. Give it a thumbs up, thumbs down. I get why some people might not have loved this episode, but I'm still thumbs up, man, because I'm cool with the slow burn as long as I get the payoff. Until next time.
I'm like up there.
Yep. Until next time. Peace.
Dong, 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 dong.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let me see that down.
No.